Hey there, it's your fellow girly, Steph. I already took a shower, so my hair is still wet. And then I just washed my face with water and put some moisturizer on. So this is pretty much my bare face. I also put in contacts because I need my spectacles to see. So this is the top of my dresser. Also, as a disclaimer, I'm not really good at makeup per se, not a makeup pro at all, but I do like wearing makeup and I feel like I've figured out makeup that looks good for me on my face. I do it pretty quickly. So in terms of sunscreen or SPF, I usually use this CeraVe facial moisturizing lotion that has 30 SPF. Or if it's really sunny, I will also put just some Neutrogena Ultra Sheer 60 SPF sunscreen on top. And then if I want my makeup to look really good and last, I also have this Mediheal primer, but it also has SPF, so it's 50 SPF. But today, it's actually a pretty cloudy day. I just have to do some stuff inside, so I already put my moisturizer on, so I think I'll just go right into my makeup. So I also mostly just use drugstore products because they're affordable, and for me, they just do the trick. I'm using the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is pretty light. I used to use the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, but honestly, I feel like this is just as good. You know how they say less is more? I think one thing that really helps though is that I don't break out as much as I used to. I used to really struggle with acne, and it was a huge problem and definitely made me feel more insecure and use more makeup. But now I'm in my late 20s and thankfully things have calmed down a lot. I usually just get like a couple pimples here and there. Maybe I'll break out a little bit more during my period time, but that's one nice thing about aging. Here is what I used. Next, I'm using also a CoverGirl concealer. I just put a little bit under my eyes to get those eye bags. And similarly, I don't use too much concealer. The less I put, the better it is in terms of staying in place. Oh, I also just use my hands to put on my makeup. I find it's faster and I don't have to deal with cleaning as many brushes. And then I use a CoverGirl matte, clean matte powder. And again, with this, I only put it under my eyes and my T-zone area. Don't want to dry out my face too much. I've been using this Makeup Forever HD High Definition Blush. It's more of a cream blush. And I like to put it more on my cheekbone area. Ooh. I got this eyeshadow palette in Korea, just at Olive Young. It's a pretty neutral palette, so I've been using it pretty much every day. So with being tan skinned, I feel like I get away with a lot of makeup errors. It kind of all just blends into my face. That's what I like to tell myself. And I kind of use shades that are, you know, not too different from my skin. Kind of do it all over. I'm using a very pale blue that's close to white. And I just like putting it on my finger and doing my inner corners as well as the bottom of my eyelid. Personally, I do like how that looks, but the functional reason for doing this is because I like to put eyeliner on my inner corners to elongate my eyes because my eyes are small. Also, with my eyes being small, but my lashes are relatively, I would say, a good length for my eyes. When I put mascara on, and with the oiliness, oftentimes the mascara will get onto my bottom of my eye and then I get that raccoon look. So having the powdered eyeshadow kind of helps mitigate some of that transfer. So before I get to my favorite part of like my eye makeup, I will do a little bit of my brows. So I would say I was blessed with hair. So, you know, I've got pretty thick hair on my head and I've got pretty good brows, I would say, even though sometimes they do get a little bit long. Having good hair also comes with being hairy. So I remember growing up, I used to be so insecure about, you know, hair on my arms and legs and just hair everywhere. Nowadays, I don't care as much. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of my brows. I definitely had that eyebrow blindness that everyone talks about and made my brows too thick on the insides. So these days I just do very little and I think it looks better. So I'm just using a L'Oreal Paris brow pencil and it has the brush at the other end. Brush it out. So now I'm gonna do my eyeliner, which is my favorite part. I just love eyeliner. So usually I end up using 2 eyeliners because for my outer wings, I like using an older eyeliner that's kind of dried up. It's just easier to control. And then for the inner eyes, I need one with more juice left. I did my inner corners. This one came out a little bit harsher, but I think once I do my outer wings, it'll all kind of even out, hopefully. I also use a pencil liner just to fill in with more darkness. Like, just get it to be more solid. So that's what I usually do. I just kind of draw the lines first and then I kind of fill it in. Using a sort of drier liner is very forgiving, I find. If you make a mistake, you can just redo it, but that's the wings that I like to do. It's also a L'Oreal Paris mascara, the telescopic mascara. I feel like this has been pretty good these days. I should put on some lip balm, so I'm gonna use the EOS Super Balm. This is my favorite lipstick right now. It's a Dior lipstick. So this is my daily makeup finished look. So I picked some earrings and a necklace, and then with my hair, it's dried a little bit. Still kind of wet. Pretty much always air dry my hair. That's definitely me just being a lazy girly. Thankfully, my hair is that sort of slight wavy. I feel like in the past, I used to brush it a lot more and try to get it to be straight because I envied all the girls with their straight, beautiful hair. But yeah, I just had to realize that my hair is different, and right now, the best things for me are just not putting any heat, not dyeing it, just leaving it be, being lazy, and honestly it usually turns out okay. I definitely still struggle with some frizziness, so you know, I probably should be using things like hair oils and other stuff, but thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you all in the next video. Bye!